Salmo 66, versículo 12. Hombres hiciste subir sobre nuestra cabeza, entramos en fuego y en aguas, y sacástenos a altura.
Kahalal, La Yahweh, Bahasam Yahweh, Bahasam Kabudas, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh, the water, Yahweh, Bahasam Yahweh, Bahasam Kabudas. Don honrar a los apóstoles, a los ancianos de Yasharala, Great Millstone, Shalom a los escogidos.
Este versículo está haciendo referencia al diluvio y va a hacer referencia a la destrucción de la segunda muerte que está mencionado en Apocalipsis, y que tiene que ver con el fuego que viene con los misiles nucleares. Y si tú no eres escogido, te jodiste, tú te vas a quemar. ¿Okay? Que Rusia choca con Estados Unidos por armas nucleares tácticas para Bielorrusia. Rusia y Estados Unidos se enfrentaron el viernes en Naciones Unidas por los planes de Moscú de desplegar armas nucleares tácticas en Bielorrusia, que la vecina Ucrania denunció como un intento desesperado del Kremlin por evitar la derrota militar y amenazar el mundo con un apocalipsis nuclear. China, sin nombrar a Rusia, dejó clara su oposición al despliegue previsto. Ellos pueden hablar todo lo que ellos quieran, pero no hay nada que va a detener ese apocalipsis nuclear. Y lo único que tú puedes hacer es tener fe que tú no vas a ser destruido en ese apocalipsis nuclear. Job capítulo 5, versículo 19. En 6 tribulaciones te librará, y en la 7ª no te tocará el mal. En el hambre te redimirá de la muerte, y en la guerra de las manos de la espada. Del azote de la lengua serás encubierto, ni temerás de la destrucción cuando viniere. Esas 7 tribulaciones, se está hablando de la trompeta de Apocalipsis. Y en esas tribulaciones va a haber de todo, va a haber hambre, pestilencia y espada. Y la 7ª tribulación va a ser los misiles nucleares. Y ahí dice que los escogidos ni temerás de la destrucción cuando viniere. Porque tú vas a estar completamente confiado en Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. Pero esta gente, hay gente que ellos leen ese artículo, hay gente que están en el mundo, ellos leen ese artículo y ellos están preocupados por la guerra nuclear. Y también hay gente que no están preocupados porque ellos creen que no va a pasar nada. Pero están equivocados. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh está determinado para usar esos misiles nucleares. Vamos a ver aquí. Segundo Esdras, capítulo 7. Versículo 6. También hay otra cosa. Una ciudad es edificada y asentada sobre un campo espacioso y está llena de todas las cosas buenas. Es una metáfora por el reino. Su entrada es estrecha y está puesta en un lugar peligroso para caer, como si hubiera un fuego a la derecha y a la izquierda un agua profunda. Y Yahweh dijo que el camino al reino es estrecho y que la mayoría van a tratar de entrar por el camino ancho. Y ahí está hablando otra vez del fuego y el agua, porque Yahweh ya destruyó la mayoría del mundo con agua. Ahora él viene a destruir millones con fuego. Y va a permitir que se usen esos misiles nucleares. Hay gente que cuando ellos ven tragedia por internet, ellos dejan comentarios diciendo de que ay, que Dios tenga el control. Sí, Yahweh se va a tener el control. Y un solo camino entre ambos, incluso entre el fuego y el agua, tan pequeño que no podía pasar más que un hombre a la vez. Que significa que la cantidad de los escogidos, entrando a los escogidos, solo entrando el conocimiento de que lo lleva al arrepentimiento, porque los escogidos tienen que arrepentirse primero y están destinados a arrepentirse, pero tienen que arrepentirse primero, y ese arrepentimiento no sucede de una manera que llegan varios arrepentidos al mismo tiempo. Hay pocos que entran al mismo a la vez. Habían algunos casos en el libro de Hechos donde se convirtieron miles, pero eso es porque ellos vieron milagros. Ahora mismo no tenemos esa clase de milagro de que se está sanando un ciego, aunque haya iglesias que son charlatanes y ellos hacen unos shows como si están sanando a la gente. Nosotros no tenemos esos milagros de levantando a la gente de la muerte y nada de eso. Por eso que por el momento está pasando un hombre a la vez. Un hombre aquí se está despertando, otro se está despertando. Si ahora esta ciudad fuera dada a un hombre por heredad, si nunca pasara el peligro puesto delante de ella, ¿cómo recibirá esta herencia? Y dije, así es, Señor. Entonces me dijo, así también es la porción de Israel, que los escogidos van a tener que pasar por esa tribulación, porque los escogidos, cuando salgan esos misiles, que los impíos van a ver a los escogidos siendo salvos, al mismo tiempo que vean esos misiles en el aire. Porque Yahweh él quiere salvarnos de una manera dramática. Yahweh a él le gusta el espectáculo, porque nosotros somos como un espectáculo. Pero él le gusta él le gusta mostrar su poder. Que cuando esos misiles ya estén ahí en el aire, que ya tú oigas esas explosiones en varias partes, en otra parte, en otra ciudad, la tierra esté temblando y van a haber cogido que hasta el último momento en el último momento van a ser salvos. Entonces tú vas a tener que pasar por ese fuego para entrar al reino. Pero esta gente, ellos están todos preocupados. Ellos hacen esos artículos de que tenemos que hablar en contra de los misiles y no hay nada que tú puedas hacer, ¿okay? No hay nada. Eso es como un niño de 5 años tratando de pelear con un adulto, con un hombre. ¿Okay? No hay nada que tú puedas hacer. Que ya eso se va a hacer. Y no hay nada que ellos puedan hacer para detenerlo. Solo lo único que tú puedes hacer es confiar que Yahweh te va a sacar de ahí. Lo voy a dejar ahí. Si están escuchando en español, Shalom. Psalms 66 verse 12. Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, but thou broughtest us out into a wealthy place. And that's talking about the kingdom. That fire and that water, that's talking about the first and the second death. The first death being the flood, where only Noah's family was saved. And that fire is talking about that nuclear destruction that's about to happen on the earth. And we have to go through that in order to get into the kingdom. Russia clashes with U.S. over tactical nukes for Belarus. Russia and the U.S. clashed in the United Nations on Friday over Moscow's plans to deploy tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, which neighboring Ukraine denounced as a desperate Kremlin attempt to avoid military defeat and threaten the world of nuclear apocalypse. China, without naming Russia, made clear its opposition to the planned deployment. And there you can see how the heathen, all right, and the people in this world, they're afraid of these missiles, all right? They're afraid of a potential nuclear apocalypse. But the truth of the matter is that a nuclear apocalypse is biblical prophecy. Right? The Most High has already spoken it into existence. It only needs to happen. That's all that has to happen. It just needs to come to pass. So the only thing you can do is hope that you are exempt from that destruction. Because that shit is going to be going around the whole world. It's not just Babylon, aka America, that's going to be hit with nuclear missiles. That shit is going to go all around the world because it says a third of men. All right, a third of men are going to perish. It's a lot of people. And hey, and you might say, oh, this is repetitive nuclear. Look, the nuclear missiles is the last prophecy before Yahweh Shai right? Before Yahweh Shai beams us up into those chariots. Lord willing, I'm included in that number. And that's the most destructive prophecy. Because if you think, man, if you think that first death, the flood was something, right, imagine part two, all right? When Yahweh Shai unleashes that second death, all right, that nuclear fire. Job 5, verse 19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. All right, those 7 troubles is talking about those 7 trumpets in Revelation. That's just a precept. Because that's a false doctrine these churches got, where there's going to be a rapture before tribulation. All right, the real rapture is when the elect gets taken up into those chariots, into those so-called UFOs. All right, and they're given the new immortal bodies. But before that happens, we all have to go through this hell. But it says right there that, you know, we're going to be redeemed from famine and from the power of the sword and war. So famine is going to be included in those trumpets, all right, in this tribulation. There's going to be people dying of famine, pestilence, and the sword. All right, all kinds of swords. But that ultimate sword is talking about the nuclear missiles. And it says right there in verse 21, we're also going to be hid from the scourge of the tongue. All right, when Esau, all right, the so-called white man, a racist white man, when he starts speaking like a dragon with his draconian measures coming up against the elect, the Most High is going to hide us from that. And we're not going to be afraid when the missiles come. I mean, you know, during those trumpets, you know, the first 6 trumpets, you might be afraid, you know. But once you see that Yahweh Shai is with you, man, you're not going to be afraid. Because I've seen testimonies from brothers talking about they had dreams where they got delivered in Jacob's trouble, man, and they wasn't afraid. They felt no fear. So if you don't feel no fear in a subconscious situation like a dream where you think it's real, because when you're dreaming, you think that shit is real. Imagine how it's gonna be, all right? When you truly got faith and all this shit starts happening, man, you know the Most High got you, man. You're not gonna fear anything. People are gonna see that in you. They're gonna be like, hey, what's up with this, man? It's like something different about him, man. He ain't scared of nothing. So when those missiles start flying, that's when you know that redemption is drawing near. Second Ezra chapter 7, starting at verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. And that's the kingdom. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And Yahweh Shai said that the way to the kingdom of heaven is narrow, all right? We're entering through the narrow path, while the rest of the world, you know, they're trying to do what's right in their own eyes. They're trying to enter through the broad gate, the broad path. But they're going to be destroyed. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, right? That's a metaphor for the flood and then the upcoming nuclear destruction. So small that there could but one man go there at once. All right, and if you notice, people, brothers waking up to this truth, it's usually just one dude at a time, right? And we had, instances in the book of Acts where, thousands were added to them, they converted. But that was because, they saw that spiritual power. But right now, before the spiritual power, before we could see brothers flying and doing extraordinary superhero things. You only really see like one dude waking up. One dude might come to camp, take notes or whatever, and he might stick around for a while. And then he'll be added to your camp. Or he might come upon a stumbling block and then he'll fall out before he even comes into the camp, before he even fully comes into the truth. Right? Because he preferred the broad way. But you got to go through the narrow path. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. And that's talking about the elect in Israel. Lord willing, I'm included in that number. Right? Only the elect are going to have to, only the elect are going to be able to go into the kingdom after going through this fire, man. So the rest of the world, they're all worried about the nuclear missiles, always reporting on it. Hey, the elect, man, I don't have no anxiousness. I don't think that's a word. No anxiety. I have no anxiety over none of that. All right. I've been reading comments from people on comment boards on YouTube videos talking about nuclear threats and all that. People are shitting bricks. Not me, man. I'm cool. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. I'm going to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. All right. I'm going to keep that trust. So hopefully the Most High could deliver me from that nuclear destruction. All right. And you got to have that same kind of faith too. So you could be delivered from that nuclear destruction. Because if you don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man, you're either gonna go into captivity or you're gonna die in that fire. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Call halal, la Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Kakudash, Baragata Yahweh. Baragata Yahweh Shai, Baragata Yahweh, Baragata Yahweh Shai, Baragata Yahweh, Baragata Yahweh Shai, the water, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakudash. Double honor to the apostles, to the elders of Yasharala, great millstone, Shalom to the elect, Ababa Ball, Abad Kau Gawiyan, Abad Kau Adawamin, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.